Welcome back to another class on Evean Hazaer Halacha series. We are continuing in Siman Aleph Halacha Yud. This will be part 3 of the Shi'ur. The Shulchan Aruch continues and he says, "V'lo pashtat takanato b'chol haratzot." The takana of Rabbeinu Gershom, it was not widespread in every single land. That means to say, some lands they accepted the takana of Rabbeinu Gershom not to marry more than one wife. Other lands, other countries, they did not accept the takana of Rabbeinu Gershom. Meaning to say, the lands that did not accept the takana of Rabbeinu Gershom, they are allowed to go ahead and marry more than one woman. Like we saw in the previous halacha, there are rules to that also. Comes a reminder, Rama says, "V'davka b'makom sheyadu lo pashta takanato." When the Shulchan Aruch says that in certain places the takana of Rabbeinu Gershom was not accepted, comes the reminder, he says that specifically in a place where it is known that they did not accept the takana of Rabbeinu Gershom. Aval, however, minastam, let's say we don't know, did they accept it or not? Aval minastam, however, presumably, noheg bechol makom. We're going to say that the takana of Rabbeinu Gershom applies in every single place. So when the Shulchan Aruch says that the takana of Rabbeinu Gershom was not accepted in every single part of the land, comes the Ramah, he says, fine. That is specifically if we know that in that part of the land, they did not accept Rabbeinu Gershom's takana. However, in other places, minastam, if we don't know if they accepted it or not, we're going to presume that every single place it had accepted the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom. Ve'ayin siman reish chavchet b'yordeya im halach memokum shnahagu la'achmir lemokum shnahagu la'akel. He says, look into Siman 228 in the Shulchan Aruch Yordeya edition. Over there he speaks about if a husband and a wife, they were living in a place where their minhag was to follow, meaning not their minhag was to follow, but they were living in a place where they behaved like the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom, they didn't marry more than one wife. Now this couple, it moved and then it went to live in a place where they are lenient and they marry more than two wives. Can this guy that was living in this area, let's say he was living in this country, and this country, they accepted upon themselves not to marry two wives, so this guy, he had one wife the whole time. Now they moved to another country where they never accepted the minhag of Rabbeinu Gershom. They never accepted this institution. So now that he's here, he wants to get a second wife. Is he allowed to go ahead and change from his previous status and get another wife? Yes or no? He says, look that up in Siman 228 in the Yoreh edition. Continues the Shulchan Aruch, and now he says another very fascinating point. When Rabbeinu Gershom made his takana that a person is not allowed to marry more than one wife, he only made it until the end of the 5,000 year. Up to 5,000 years, the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom applied. After 5,000 years, the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom does not apply. So we are right now in 5785. We are 785 years after the completion of 5,000 years. So according to this, the Shulchan Aruch is saying that the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom doesn't apply at all now. Today, by the way, is 30th Kislev, the 6th day of Chanukah, December 31st, 2024. But I'm just trying to show you over here, the Shulchan Aruch, not only did we not accept, we the Sephardim did not accept the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom, he says another reason why men can go ahead and marry other women. Because Rabbeinu Gershom's Cherem only applied up until the 5,000 year. After the 5,000 year, he says the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom expired. So therefore a person wants to go and get married to another woman now, he's allowed to go ahead and get married to another woman. Again, Rabotai, let's make no mistake. Let me just see over here. Right. You have to know, we did this also halacha for halacha tet. You have to know Halacha Tet Rabotai to be able to apply all the rules from over here. I'm not going to go through every single case. Put it together, Rabotai. If you ever want to get married, ask your local rabbis. Okay. So that's what the Shulchan Aruch says here. V'lo hichrim ela atzov ha'elav ha'chamishi. Rabbeinu Gershom only made the takana of not marrying more than one woman. That's until the end of the 5,000 year. But after the 5,000 year, the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom expired. Comes the Rama and he says, Umikol makom, nevertheless, bechol midinot, in all the cities, elu, in these cities, omed atakana v'aminat bimkomo, the takana stands in its place. The custom of not marrying more than one woman stands in its place even after the expiration date, even nowadays, according to the Ashkenazim. Ve'ein nosim shtei nashim, and you're not allowed to marry two women. Ve'kofim becharomot v'niduyin, and we're going to force with excommunications mi she'over v'noseh bet nashim ligaresh achad mehem. Somebody's going to go ahead and he's going to transgress over the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom and marry two women. We're going to force him through excommunications that he has to go ahead and he has to divorce one of the women. Comes the Roman, he tells you over here, Rabotai, do you know what means excommunication? Bedin has to go ahead and they have to excommunicate him until he divorces one of the wives. Doesn't matter which one, but he has to divorce one of them. Excommunication is very bad. Why? Because when Bedin excommunicates somebody, you can't daven with him, you can't answer to his barachot, you can't use him as a minyan, you can't buy from him, you can't marry into the family. Bottom line, he's excommunicated. He has nothing to do with the Jewish people. To that extent, Rabotai, the Roman wants to tell us over here, even though the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom expired, nevertheless, somebody who's going to go ahead and do it and marry two women, he's transgressing the words of the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom because the Takana, even after the 5,000 years, still is intact. Therefore, we're going to force him through excommunication to make sure that he goes ahead and he divorces one of his wives. V'yesh omrim, however, there are those that say, the bezman hazeh ein lechov mi shavar Cherem Rabbeinu Gershom. But there are those that say, nowadays, you can't go ahead, don't force one who went and he transgressed and he went over the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom and married two wives, me'acher shekvar nishlam elef hachamishim. Since already the 5,000 year is complete, it was completed, because we're already in 5785 now, 785 years after. That's what the Yeshomrim want to say today. Do not go ahead and force anybody through using excommunication to divorce one of his wives. That you cannot do because the Cherem Rabbeinu Gershom already expired. It already completed at the 5,000 year. However, the Rama says, Ve'ein nohagin ken. He says, but that is not our minhag. That is not our custom not to go ahead and force one to get divorced. Our custom, the Rama says, even nowadays, a person went ahead and he married two women, we're going to force him through excommunications to divorce one of them. And not like the Yeshomrim that say, leave him alone. Continues the Rama, and he brings another example. Yeshomrim, there are those that say, Mishi nishtameda ishto. If somebody's wife, she converted to another religion, Mizakeh la get aide acher, let her grant her a divorce through somebody else, meaning through a third party. Ve'noseh acheret, and let him go and marry another woman. Ve'chein nohagin biktzat mekomot, and so too in certain places, they have this minhag that if a person's wife, chas v'shalom lo aleinu, she left the religion and she went into another religion, we're going to tell him through a third party, grant through the third party to your wife the get, and then go and marry another woman. Continues the Roman, he says, U'b'makom she'en minhag. What happens if you are living in a place where they don't grant the get, the divorce paper through a third party? What are you going to do? Ein lehachmir, don't be stringent. U'mutar lisa acher, you're allowed to go ahead and marry another woman, below girushei harishona, without divorcing the first wife. So Rabotai, we do conclude over here with the Halacha of the Shulchan Aruch completely. But Ezrat Hashem B'Neder, tomorrow we will start going with the commentaries, and then we have to start doing the Pitchei Teshuvah. But Pitchei Teshuvah, Rabotai, are very, very beautiful. live cases, live situations, and you'll see, Rabotai, what does it mean to go ahead and judge a case. But we saw today that according to the Sephardim, we, the Sephardim, we never accepted the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom. Not only that, the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom, the Shulchan Aruch said, it already expired at the 5,000 years. That means we're now in 5785, 785 years after. The Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom is not applicable today at all, according to the Shulchan Aruch. Came the Ramah said, absolutely not. Even though the Cherem is expired, nevertheless, the minhag stays in its place. So that's what we'll see as we go along. We're going to be able to use some leniencies to allow the guy to get remarried to another wife, like we saw over here in the case with a woman converting. In any event, have a great day. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Ve Amen.